So, guys, I fucking hate fat people, bro. I fucking hate fat people.
Now we no longer have any viewers.
Our entire viewer base is fat. What are you doing, dude?
Fat shamed us. We're an anime YouTube channel. Do you not know what we do?
Hey, we might be an anime YouTube channel, but we should have fucking standards. And if our audience is fat, then they need to jump on that treadmill. Okay.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Let me just stop you here. Okay. What language are we speaking?
We are currently speaking the Queen's English, sir.
I highly doubt that, but we are speaking English. So, we're English, and we're an American, North American, I get it, Frog's a Canadian, but we are a North American English-speaking podcast. The only other countries that speak English are like top 10 of the world's fattest people index. We are alienating our entire user group with your angry tirade.
Fat people deserve to be alienated because they're barely even people. Let's be honest here, okay? They're consumer little troglodytes driving up in their fucking go-karts of happiness, screaming their America banners. Listen, this woman, she came to my store to get
And what is your store? What is your store?
I work in an auto shop.
Okay.
She came to my shop. She wanted an oil change. Fine and dandy lemon candy. Got her taken care of. But there was something I noticed. She smelled like brownies and dog ass. And it's the smell combination that you can't even imagine. Like it's part of the reason why I'm never going to eat another brownie, this woman. So she comes into my shop
So like this one woman has denied you like one of the most basic and delicious desserts.
Yes.
Like
brownies
no
are kind of
effort,
overrated.
10 minutes to make
real.
dessert.
I agree, brownies are overrated. Frog, I'm right with you.
They're like kind of like the texture is like dirt, dude.
They require less effort than cookies to make. Okay, you just
I don't.
mix the batter with some
mile.
egg and some oil and maybe some milk. If you're not a cheap person,
just go the
who uses
extra
water,
mile.
just
It's worth
I could make a vegan cookie with nothing but coconut oil and like fucking brown sugar.
But
and a
that's
little bit
disgusting.
Of
No one's gonna eat that.
Except it's delicious and it's very good actually.
That is horrible. Just do no bakes if you're gonna be that lazy.
What is a no bake?
It's also called a Mississippi mud cookie if you're from the South.
It's basically oatmeal, cocoa powder, and like
peanut butter.
Water? Peanut butter? Yeah, okay. And water. And you mix that all together and you leave it by your windowsill overnight and you pray to God your dogs didn't get to it in the morning.
Oh.
That's it. That's the entire
So
cookie.
does it dry up like a sugar cookie?
No, it doesn't really.
Not even. It's just oatmeal. Oatmeal is the base.
Yeah, but like sugar cookies are like... They just, they're kind of... Do you bake sugar cookies? I actually don't remember.
Yeah, you bake sugar cookies. You bake all cookies except for no-bake cookies.
The texture is just like really weird in sugar cookies. They're like, I don't know. Anyway, why are we talking
sugar
about cookies?
Sugar cookies are the best cookie under Snickerdoodles, and I'll fight anybody for that.
All right, fat people
are amazing. Yes,
yeah, fat people. So fat
this
woman smells a brownie and dog booty hole.
So she comes into my store for an oil change. We're taking care of her, and I have to take care of everyone else. It's just me and my manager that morning, and I work in an auto shop in a small city, but a city. 60,000 people live here. So in the morning time, the first 4 hours, it's hell. So she's coming in here, getting her oil changed, fine and dandy, lemon candy, like I said. She's sitting in her fucking waiting room, practically taking up 2 fucking chairs. I come in there to look up information for another customer. Just a piss-eating grin on my face. I was just, not piss-eating grin, a piss-eating like look on my face, like fuck, I'm done with life. I'm just looking up this shit on the computer, and from the fucking waiting room, like a beluga whale giving off a mating call, I hear, "Smile, sweetie," and I look up, and she's giving me that fucking pouty eye look that tells me she wants my fucking penis. And I'm thinking to myself...
What? Where did you come to that equation? Like... apparently a smile means she wants your penis.
No. We're talking about...
I'm smiling right now,
Smile,
and I don't want
sweetie.
your penis. Yeah. Like, smile, sweetie is like the same thing every auntly woman says to you when she notices you got your head bent over like some kind of vulture. Like,
No.
smile, sweetie is literally somebody telling you, hey, stop being such a piece of human filth and try to be
You
optimistic.
know what?
For
I
5
would
seconds.
probably agree with you, except this was her getting her foot into the door to start a conversation, because she did not stop after Smile, Sweetie. She's like, oh man, it's a great day. Well, I mean, it may not be a good day, but she just kept fucking stumbling over her words like fucking cookie crumbs are coming out of her fucking mouth.
You know what I'm getting here is, you are not the victim of this story, just so you know. Like, at this point, I'm more empathetic towards the lady who is trying to be nice and conversing with you.
This story isn't
Like, that I am
fucking done,
you.
Moth. This story isn't fucking done. Okay? So her car gets fucking finished. We park it, fine and dandy. Lemon candy. Like I said, 3 times, I'm not repeating it anymore.
Please don't.
I go back to work. She comes waddling out in her fucking, like a fucking weeble wobble, and she starts fucking complaining. You know what she's complaining about? She's complaining that she's complaining like this fucking creature that we parked her vehicle too far away from the door. Our parking lot is 10 feet wide, 10 feet long. It's nothing. This fucking beluga caviar whale bitch doesn't want to walk an extra 2 feet to get to her fucking car, and she comes out there and says, hey, move my car closer. And at this point, I almost snapped on her ass.
Okay, once again, how are you the victim here? Like, how? You were the one who parked her car too far away from her. You were the one who didn't want to talk to her.
I didn't even park the car.
Basic customer service. You are in a minimum wage facility.
Above minimum wage.
You are giving away valuable hours of your life that you're never going to get again for capitalist endeavors, and yet you somehow find a reason to complain about a woman who was just asking for a basic thing from you. Really?
Yeah.
How are you the victim? Tell me how you're the victim.
Yeah, I'm very much the victim of this fucking woman who doesn't want to exercise at all. I'm telling you right now, Moth, okay?
She's the
victim. This is the fucking plot twist, all right?
She
I am committing myself this moment forward
body.
after having to deal with this American excess. I am going to kill a fat person within the next year. I am
You don't
committed
have to
it.
do that. Because the diabetes or their heart is going to kill them. You don't have to do anything. You are being a monster. This is a self-solving problem that you feel the need to add your input to.
You know what? You're right. This is a self-solving problem. Because I am the fat person that I am gonna kill. Plot twist.
Well, great. Okay, so that means it's me and Frog running the podcast after we die, and neither of us know how to edit sound. So the podcast is just going to be one autist in a corner burping, and the other one sitting there grumbling to himself about how the Moth Man did 9/11. So thanks, Dick.
Well, I'm gonna kill I'm gonna kill a fat person. Instead, I was gonna kill myself. It's called fucking diet and exercise.
Well, you literally did say you were going to kill yourself.
Yeah, you just not. A minute ago, you said, the fat person I'm going to kill
It's a metaphor.
is me.
It's a metaphor.
A metaphor for
That's
what?
not a metaphor. When the words are exactly, I am going to kill me. There's no metaphor. There's no room for extrapolation or interpretation. You just admitted that you're going to kill yourself.
No, it means I'm metaphorically gonna kill myself, okay?
There's no metaphor there.
It's a metaphorical death, Moth.
Hey guys,
So
welcome
you're
to
gonna come
Reanime
back and-
Podcast, episode 3.
Thank you, Frog. Thank you. Continue.
We, as always, are your hosts. I'm Frog King. With me are my other co-hosts, Engrish Mike,
Shibbity doobity.
and he who, what is it, oversees? I don't know, Moth Man.
I'm just Mothman. Like, I got my name because my wife's furzona is a moth. Like, you don't have to come up with some elder
That
cryptic
explains
crap for it.
so much.
We just learned a dark
it
secret
does.
here.
That is like
There's
peak
no
lore.
dark secrets.
Does she eat your clothes?
No, just my. We're not talking about this.
Does she make them?
Actually, yeah, she has made clothes for me.
That sounds
to,
nice.
like
That's
conventions
adorable.
and stuff.
That's
She's
nice.
an amazing woman. I love her. I don't deserve her.
All right. Well, now that we alienated like half our audience, thanks, Mike.
More than that, once again, English-speaking podcast.
70% or more.
Yeah,
Fuck
great.
fat people. They aren't humans.
Don't call yourself
All
not
right,
human,
all right.
man. It's not
Before we get to the animes of the week, though, can I pet peeve? I mean, we let him pet peeve. Can I pet peeve?
Go for it.
Peeve away your pets.
Okay. So this is a thing. I grew up my whole life didn't watch live action anything. Like, I literally until Guillermo del Toro started directing movies, and until I saw stuff like Starship Troopers, I just did not watch live action anything because it's boring. It's bland compared to cartoons. That's why we're now in an anime podcast, because I hate live action. So what I don't get is, and Family Guy is the worst offender here, but other podcasts do this. Everybody does this. Why are we making 80s, late 70s, early 90s pop culture obscure references? Like, we're an anime podcast, and this isn't us. This is just like all sorts of podcasts. Like, I just remember I felt like an idiot about 2 weeks ago when somebody mentioned like, oh yeah, that's totally a Gilbert Grape scene, because they were talking about like
what the fuck?
I don't know.
Who talks about Gilbert Grape now?
Well, no, they were talking about like Rain Man or something. It's like yeah. No, it's just like Gilbert Grape all grown up, and I'm like, what does the Californian raisins have to do with any of this? And my wife looks at me and she's like, wait, do you not know what Gilbert Grape is?
What's eating you?
Like, no, I don't. What is Gilbert Grape?
I'm gonna Google Gilbert Grape because I have no idea.
Oh,
it's Leonardo DiCaprio's first movie as a child actor.
it's a very good movie.
Okay, I was expecting a grape, and this is just like an actor.
Yeah,
man.
exactly, right? And you got these guys who are like in their late 20s, like me, early 30s, that like drop these references on like video game podcasts and whatnot. They're like, yeah, that's definitely a Gilbert Grape thing. I'm like, how am I supposed to know this? I'm here to talk about video games. Like, what?
Yeah, but that's the thing. References are the most innate gatekeepers we can possibly use to determine who are good people.
I can't
That's dumb, though. Because, like, the entire show Scrubs, like, once you scale back everything, all Scrubs is references to Happy Days. And I don't even know what Happy Days is. They just referenced it so much, I know it's a Happy Day reference.
Scrubs is good, though. I thought it's
yeah.
on.
I mean, yeah, it's my favorite live-action sitcom, but, like, that doesn't excuse it from just, like, going, hey, remember when, I don't know, that weird little kid with suspenders,
Dude.
like...
We gotta have an
I
episode
don't
on
know,
sitcoms,
Dexter?
actually.
Like, was it Dexter? Was it... I don't know, the short black guy who never got taller.
You're talking about Turk?
What's his name? No, not Turk, from, like, the 80s. Like, he was on that show, and he's like, really short.
Happy Days?
Oh, no. He's talking about, he's not... It's not that he never got taller, it's that he was a midget.
Oh, you mean that guy?
All right.
Oh, what's his name?
That's
John Newman?
Nope.
No, wait.
No, not John Newman.
One sec. Short, black.
Wait, no. What,
Short,
I know.
black
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Jordan.
Chris Rock comes up right away.
Short black.
Tony Cox?
No, I know you.
Is
No,
it?
no,
No,
it's not
it's not
Tony.
Tony
No, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
It's Tony Cox.
It's not Tony Cox. I know
not.
who it is. It's
Wait.
It's
I can't. My
Tony
brain
Cox is very
stopped.
small, but no, he looks like he's 10, doesn't he?
Yeah.
well. Here's the thing. This is exactly what I was saying. Like, we're making these pop culture references, and we're on an anime podcast. We don't even know what we're talking about. Like, why are we making these references?
Well, it's one part to let people know, hey, he knows. It's another part so that people say, what the fuck is that? And they look it up and they learn about something. Like you did. You didn't know about what's eating Gilbert Grape, and now you do.
But I don't feel any better with this knowledge. I'm not going to go out and watch the movie. I just have some stupid pub trivia knowledge now, and I don't even go to pubs because I don't drink.
Oh, that's a shame. Really.
Okay, all right, sorry. I had to get that off my chest.
Gary Coleman!
Anything you want to complain
Gary
about?
Coleman, that's it. Yes. I
Coleman.
knew it was something like that. It was on the tip of my fucking tongue.
I was looking for it, and I was like, where the fuck is it? And you know how I found it? I looked up the Donkey Postal 2 video.
I was going to say, I wouldn't know who he is if not for Postal 2. I literally would not know who Gary Coleman is if not for Postal 2.
I watched the shows he was on, so I knew him.
He looked like he was 4 when he was 18 or something. I don't know.
By virtue of the fact of how long it took me to get internet, I understand all of those references because I've seen it all. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. When that one song pops on that people head bop their head to, I can't remember the name of it.
Which one?
How's it go? What song? Yeah, see, exactly. This is what I'm talking about again.
I don't remember the name of the song though.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Isn't that a fucking Crazy Frog song?
Yeah, I don't even know anymore. I like to move it. But
Oh yeah,
I
that's the
don't know.
one. No, that's the one. Yeah.
It's from Just Dance or whatever.
No,
Just Dance
it was.
back
I
when
mean,
it
the
was
original thing
DVR.
that made it popular was like I think Madagascar, the movie.
Yes, there we go. Now we're just dropping pop culture references.
Oh, we
and
are,
some
actually,
people
yeah.
have never actually seen the original Madagascar because it came out before they were born.
It was not that late. It was like 2006 or something. Hold on.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem with Madagascar. Okay, I'll be quite
With
plain with you.
Madagascar. We're jumping
Madagascar came out as a staple movie of its time. It's like, hey, let's go to the theater because we're boring people and don't know anything else to do for a date. What are we going to go see? Oh, Madagascar, yeah. And you see it, and you see it to either entertain your children who won't shut up. You see it because that's the only movie that had available tickets when you went on your date at 10 o'clock at night. You see it, but it holds absolutely no value as a movie. So seeing it after the first 3 years of its existence, like, that's dumb. You're dumb.
It's kind of a nothing
I
movie.
agree with you that like Madagascar is totally a nothing movie, but the staple movie from around that time isn't Madagascar. It's Cars, because you can still fucking buy Cars toys today.
That's the thing. Cars is Pixar's like.
But like
Pixar has this thing, like they can perfectly market whatever they make. Like Toy Story
Fair.
was the perfect merchandise money machine.
that was
Like,
actually
you literally
good,
can't
though.
beat it.
I mean,
Toy Story's
Okay.
good is the difference.
I thought you were about to say Cars. I was gonna like
No. I said Toy Story's good.
No, the problem with Cars, my wife, who's in the animation industry, they have this phrase that they use, and it's called "Don't bring your baby to work." And that's not an actual baby; that's a metaphorical baby. We all have these.
But no, you
stories.
said don't bring your baby to work. How's that a metaphor?
It is a metaphor, and the baby is a theoretical object. It is something that you want to make. It's something that if somebody gave you $50 million and said, make your baby, you have this idea in your head that you want to see come to fruition. Like, everybody has it. I got one. Like, I got a comic I want to do. I can't draw, but I got a comic I want to do.
Same.
And the problem with your baby is it can't handle any form of criticism. Like, hey, you know, why is this going on? How do cars manufacture buildings if they don't have arms and legs? Like, you know, it can't stand up to criticism. That's your baby.
I personally
And so-
adhere to the idea that the cars in Cars are insectoid people.
I like
So
I like how
Cars-
they have kids
Cars-
and it confirms that they have junk and shit.
Yeah, they have junk
like-
in their trunk.
But the guy who did Cars, I think it was John Lasseter, that was his baby ever since he was a kid.
Was it?
That's the movie he wanted to make.
Is it really?
And
That's such
isn't
a
that depressing?
That's
Isn't that depressing?
yeah. That's like
mean,
someone's
yeah.
like biggest idea
Yeah, that's
is
their biggest
Cars.
idea. That is
Pixar's
The first-
Cars.
The first Cars isn't a bad movie.
It's not.
the
No,
it's a
sequel that's
terrible
bad.
movie.
It's not good.
No, it's not. It's
Nah.
not. It's not.
It's
Not bad.
not
It's bad.
offensively bad, but
And
it's
the
not
problem is
good.
It gave birth to Cars, Cars 2, Planes.
Oh
Cars
yeah,
3.
planes
Oh,
exist. What is that?
That is in the
What is
same
planes?
universe, and I don't understand. Are planes the same? Can they
Do
like
you know
mate
it,
with
it
the
had
cars?
a straight-to-video sequel called Fire and Rescue?
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't there like a
it-
British like cartoon called something like Bobby the
Thomas the
Biplane or
Tank
something?
Engine?
Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, I'm talking
Yeah,
about like the
Thomas the
biplane
Tank
or
Engine.
something.
I'm
I think-
pretty sure you're talking about Thomas the Tank Engine.
And I'm
No,
not.
there-
I know
there's
what
a
I know what
plane
Thomas the
version.
Tank Engine is. I'm not.
Okay, there's a Thomas the Tank Engine spin-off that has plane people in it.
What?
Apparently he doesn't know what Thomas the Tank Engine is because a tank engine is not a biplane.
I was a kid who grew
Yeah,
up
but there,
in the
there was a
1998.
plane version.
I know
It's
what
he's
Thomas.
thinking of.
How? It was on PBS and then it got like replaced with Sanguine or whatever.
He
the
doesn't
cat
know what
song
PBS
go.
is.
I know what PBS is.
Shut up, Canadian!
I'm not.
Silence,
12.
Canadian!
So in Canada, instead of like Public Broadcast Corporation, is it like Public Broadcast Canucks or
No,
something?
we get
Like,
American channels. We're not
Do you
like
have to like bootleg them pirate
No,
radio
they
style?
just
Like
come
you have to
with the
turn your
fucking
antennas
packages.
south.
No. They watch like their own Canadian channels that have.
we
shit
have
like
Canadian
What's with Andy.
channels, but we also
know what
have
blows
your
my
guys'
mind?
channels.
You guys don't have Adult Swim.
We can
You
get
guys
it.
have this
we can totally get it.
Well, like now you can, but like when I was in Canada, like driving through, like exporting stuff through Canada, like you guys did not have Adult Swim. You had this weird spin-off that had all the Adult Swim shows at the time that were running, but it couldn't legally be called Adult Swim.
I think it was just like I think it was like the Cartoon Network
Teletoon?
equivalent,
Of
which is
Canada.
Teletoon, which
Yeah,
has
yeah,
like
it
the
was-
Teletoon at night block later on. I think
They
that's what
just
you're talking
fucking
about.
called it Night Block. Fucking
No, it's called
Canadians
Teletoon
and their
at night.
originality.
It's called
I mean,
Teletoon
how
at night,
long-
I think.
I mean, we had Nick at Night for how many years?
Yeah, exactly.
And all Nick at Night was Boy Meets World and the Fresh Prince. Yeah, here we go. I'm making the pop culture references. Let's talk about anime.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with pop culture references.
Let's see. We had let me tell you some Canadian insight here. We had like Teletoon, which is like the Cartoon Network equivalent, except we didn't get all the fun shows. Like we didn't get Adventure Time for ages. We didn't get regular show for ages either. We got YTV, which is like the
Honestly.
Nickelodeon equivalent. YTV was the shit, by the way.
You missed nothing with regular show at all.
I mean, I liked
That's
it.
the wrong
I liked
opinion, but
what
okay.
small bit I saw of it.
Okay, here's my issue with regular show.
It's
if
that
regular
it's-
show had been put on Adult Swim where it belonged, I would have been okay with regular show. My problem is I'm very child-minded, like what children should be consuming, what I find acceptable.
That's what's
for
great about it
children.
because it
Yeah.
pushed the envelope a little bit. You know, 16 was a Canadian
Yeah, but
show.
here's the thing.
16's
It's
a good show.
breaking down boundaries. Like, it's breaking down boundaries that don't need to be broken down. It's bringing,
Jesus Christ.
It's bringing the unacceptable level of content closer and closer
No.
to children. And so when you have... Okay, tell
I'd
me
love
it's
to hear
okay
your
for a kid's
opinions on
show
the
to have
Ratburn
Tyler,
wedding.
the Creator, on it.
What?
Tell me it's okay for a kid's show to have Tyler, the Creator, on it.
It's okay
Sure, why
for
not?
a kid's show to have Tyler the Creator on it.
He's a good musician. He's a great musician. He's an amazing rapper. But he does not belong on a kid's show.
Who cares,
Why?
dude?
Because he is an adult entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
You don't put adult entertainers in kids shows.
Yeah, you do. We've been doing this since the fucking 80s, putting adult
When?
entertainers in kid show. Do you
me
not
one
remember when
example.
Michael Jackson was on fucking during the peak of his like drama and shit in the 90s was on Sesame Street? Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's a terrible idea.
Except it wasn't. It's one of the best episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about like Invader Zim now because he brought this up, and how
Yeah, Invader Zim is like I remember watching Invader Zim, and I was like 14
It's
when Invader Zim came out, and I was
actually
like, wow,
amazing.
I don't want my little brothers to watch
I
this.
think it's actually something kids should see.
No,
I'm going to
it
challenge your
belonged-
viewpoint because it's
I
makes you challenge your viewpoint on things. It's like, oh
okay,
wait,
fine. Challenge my viewpoint.
no, I'm saying like it challenges kids' viewpoint of the world and saying that there's a point to nihilism.
Yeah. Like I think there's a lot of like good things that can be created by not sheltering children but showing them these things.
Listen,
Like,
I was a super sheltered kid, right? My parents.
here's the thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
In controlled environments, that's fine. Like, if a parent's there, like, hey, let's watch a regular show together with their kid. Sure. You know what TV is designed for? TV and video games are designed for the same thing. It's so parents don't have to parent for a few hours every day. So I guarantee you, parents aren't sitting there while their kids are watching regular show and hearing Grilby go, I'm pissed off right now, Mortigan, or whatever the bird rabbit's name are. Like, they use swear words that I wouldn't like in a kid's show, especially one that's airing on a primetime block. Like, they talk about content that isn't really acceptable for viewers 10 and younger. Like, it's a good show, but it doesn't belong on Cartoon Network, and it belongs on Adult Swim.
this is wild.
Okay, listen. If they were on Adult Swim, a lot of the charm would be gone.
Yeah.
How?
In fact, there is, after regular show ended, the guy who created it created
An adult show.
an adult show that is the
And
exact
it's not
same
great.
show, and I think it was on
Isn't
like
it Tyler the
TBS.
Creator's show?
No.
Called The Wigglies or something?
No.
He
made an
created
actual
the exact same
show.
show, and no one watched it.
Yeah.
What was it called? What was it
I
called?
don't remember actually. That's how forgotten it was.
I
Let's see.
Yeah, look it
Regular
up.
show creator, Adult Swim. Next show on Adult Swim.
It's not on Adult Swim.
But like
was
the
on,
whole
like,
point of
TBS or
that, like you
something.
could go on a kid's channel and see some like some like stuff that was like, is that okay? That's interesting to a kid. For me, I was like, what,
Yeah.
can they say that? Like as a kid, I was like, is that okay to put in this channel? And that was
the whole
like,
reason
that's
I got
cool.
into
That's an
anime
interesting
was because of
like,
the fucked up shit that I was seeing, and it's like, wow, this is different than everything else, and it got me more
appealed-
interested in different things. It made
appealed
me
to the
think.
inner rebel inside of me, like, and I have no rebel inside of me. Like I'm such a fucking paste boy, but
Was it Close Enough? Was that the show?
Maybe.
close. Maybe I think so. Hang on, let me look it up.
I remember
Close
the
enough.
main character.
Yeah, that's the
exactly,
one. That's the one.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
main
let's see
character
here, close.
is the fucking writer. Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Close Enough was on. Well, that's why it was on TBS.
Yeah,
like nobody
but-
watches TBS. It didn't get canceled because it was a bad
Yeah,
show.
but
it got canceled
in
because
today's
it's on
day and
TBS.
age, like no one has Cartoon Network. We all pirate the shit that comes out on Cartoon
No one
Network,
has
but it still
cable
comes out.
No.
in general.
I make enough money that I'm not a monster and I can afford the things that I want to see.
Oh la di da di da! Look at me, I'm the Moth Man. I have money. What is this? Capitalism? Woo woo woo.
I'm not a monster, thank you.
Wait, you are. You're the Moth Man.
Okay, fair. But like, no, I don't think regular show was good for kids. Like, Amazing World of Gumball is kind of borderline, but it's still acceptable for kids. Like, Teen Titans is useless, but I'm okay letting kids watch it. Like,
Okay,
regular show was too far.
that's a weird take.
Yeah, Teen Titans is.
I
Teen
don't
Titans
even have any
Go.
attachment to Teen Titans. I didn't remember watching it growing up, but
That
there's, like,
show
weird take.
is completely and utterly like. Okay, it's not completely. I will say this: there are good episodes of it. I've seen them,
Oh, you don't like it?
but it's. I hate Teen Titans Go. It's terrible.
Really? Oh, Teen Titans Go. I'm talking about Teen Titans and
Oh, Teen
normal
Titans original is like
No,
it,
Teen
it
Titans
doesn't hold
normal
up,
was
but it's
fine.
great.
It was a
Oh,
great
okay.
show.
Never mind. Okay, I thought you guys were talking about the.
No,
Disregard.
No.
Okay, here's the thing. We have Shrek, right? Let's go to the second Shrek movie where they got a little bit braver with like their references and their adult humor. Okay, second Shrek movie, Shrek 2. Okay,
Okay.
that movie you can take a kid to and watch the jokes fly over their head, and it has no negative repercussions. Regular
SpongeBob.
show had none of those subtleties.
What?
There were
No.
absolutely there was no subtlety in regular show.
There
they
was.
swear on TV like
Well, they
was
said
no-
crap. And that was
No,
the
no.
worst thing they said.
They said pissed off in one episode. Like that's it.
You pissed me off.
Yeah, in fact, I
There's
think it was
no
exactly
way
that.
I saw. There's no way out of the 4 episodes I saw the only 4 where
I
they
think
say
they
those
said
phrases.
hell, maybe?
No, maybe, but it would have been in a later season.
I know they
whenever
said
were
crap.
getting
They
close to
definitely
being
said
finished.
crap.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
like,
God forbid a kid says crap, dude. Oh, no.
God forbid. I mean, these kids, you know, they can't hear on the TV, but if their mom and dad are fighting in the background over a wine cooler, I guess that's fine.
and that's terrible parenting. Like that doesn't even come
It's
into play because
not.
those are monsters.
But these things exist, like these words, these phrases, they exist in real life. Would you
Just
rather them
because
just
there's-
like have?
And just because there's degradation that like affects a child's development, we should embrace it and be like, "Yay!"
It's not
but-
that. It's like you shouldn't shelter children from the concepts that exist.
Yeah, you shouldn't shelter. Like my upbringing
Especially
was,
in a way
my
that's like a
upbringing
very,
was
very...
incredibly toxic, and shows like Invader Zim and anime were less caustic than the life I had to deal with. And,
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. Like, that is an escape. I had escapes. I was getting bullied all the time, and then I would go home and I would watch Love Hina and I would watch Tenchi Muyo, which in reality is probably why I was getting bullied in the first place. But like, we do have escapes. Escapes are acceptable. I don't think Adventure Time or regular show is a good escape.
Okay, let's say
Adventure
Adventure
Time's a
Time
fine escape.
Adventure Time also says crap,
Adventure-
doesn't it?
No, Adventure Time was really, really good, and then the last 3 seasons they just dunked the audience. Like,
I dropped that
Adventure
show in like
Time
2012.
was really
so I
good
wouldn't
while
know.
Pendleton Ward was on it.
I never watched anything past like the first season. I had fun with it,
it
but it was
was
kind of
great.
lol XD.
It was great. It was useless. Then they started developing the plot because that's what Rebecca Sugar does. Is she develops pointless plots into something beautiful.
Wait,
But
Was Rebecca
like-
Sugar on Adventure Time?
yeah,
she took over after Pendleton Ward quit. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and here I'm making more pop culture references. I am the monster.
There's
I hate.
nothing wrong. Like you're not even making pop culture references. You're just explaining things.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. For those of you who don't know, Rebecca Sugar created Steven Universe, which is a show about a small boy who hangs out with a bunch of not anime rip-off gems.
Yeah, it's a really great show. A lot of people,
Yeah.
shit on the first season. I think it's like kind of but it's an alright season.
I watched 3 episodes, and I never watched it again.
Fuck
First season Steven Universe's first season Adventure Time. The kids yelling algebraic randomly and crazy.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. That's why I didn't watch further than the season 1.
Yeah, season 1 is useless. Like, season 2 through 5 and even 6 in Adventure Time is golden. And then you have a couple of really, really good individual spin-off arcs, like Raising the Stakes, I think was what one of the arcs was called, where they're fighting vampires.
And there's even
there's
an episode of Adventure Time that was directed by someone we're going to talk about later called Masaki Yuasa.
Oh, good boy.
Hey, and if we're going to complain, just because I am complaining, and I am on the complaining level right now, Adventure Time's ending was just awful. How is it that the 2 worst characters in the entire TV series end up happy together? Meanwhile, everybody else who was like bled and died for these kingdoms just like gets completely crapped on and is okay with it.
The last episodes I watched were the ones with the ones that introduced Prismo, the guy in space that could like had a sandwich he liked to make and could grant a wish if you found him. That's the last.
Yeah, Prismo's great.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
I mean that show's fine. I have no opinion on it afterwards. I'm some of the story arc stuff. Well, that's the thing. I never saw the end. I would probably might even like it.
Here's what happens at the end. They shoehorn everything worse than Game of Thrones, and you're left feeling empty.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so that's the ending.
I love feeling empty inside.
In case anybody wants to know what the ending of Adventure Time was, throw a gingerbread cookie at a gumball machine, and then just like take a bat and throw it into like a pile of candy and walk away. That was the ending.
Oh, so the Candy Kingdom gets destroyed.
No, the Candy Kingdom's fine. Mostly, partially. Like, it's just that the ending was rubbish. Like, I'm pretty sure Rebecca Sugar actually hated Finn and did everything in her power to make sure he was the most miserably, emotionally crippled, stunted human being on the planet by the time she was done.
To be fair, he kind of was an emotionally stunted, crippled human being in the beginning of the show, but just by virtue of being the only human.
She could have had clear, good character development that could have really uplifted Finn, but at the end of it, you just kind of see Finn walking away as like an emotionally crippled person who can no longer express himself or deal with any of his problems because the world just sucks.
I don't know what it is about you, Moth.
So he grew up.
I don't know what it is about you, Moth, but I've never seen this show past the first season, but I want to argue with you because I know you're wrong somehow.
Dude, you and me, Frog, we have to watch like Adventure Time now and just scream at him about how it's actually like
I've heard
totally
like a lot
awesome
of good
art
about
piece.
the ending, so I don't know.
Like there's no happiness, there's no warmth for Finn, like there's no good closure for the Ice King. Like everybody just has the worst ending except for Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, who are the most contrived and angry and horrible characters in the show.
Why? Because
like,
they're women?
Okay. No. PB, totally. She's like kind of a monster. Marceline's great though.
No, Marceline is great, and you see that she like gave away a lot of her humanity to save the world, and it's great. Like Marceline is a great character. Bubblegum did not deserve her. Like Bubblegum is a monster. Bubblegum should be executed for war crimes.
Like I've not even seen the stuff that like shows her off to be a monster, and I know just by like the people's
Bubblegum
vibe
is an
about her.
abomination against God. She abuses her like mentally deficient little brother to supply the kingdom with power.
Oh
like,
yeah, ugh.
It's terrible.
Oh, then she like also manipulates him to become an adult, and then tells him to fuck off. That was really weird too.
I don't even remember
that was
anymore.
whenever
like,
she became a kid and was like she needed to become an adult again to get back power.
Oh yeah.
So she had her like subjects take off a piece of their candy and attach it to her, and then she was like, the last thing I need is the warmth of a true love hug, and Finn was like, oh yeah, let me get on that hug, and then she like the warmth melts all the candy together and she becomes an adult, and then as soon as she's adult again, she's like, all right, yeet. Just tells him to go. Yeah,
she like
off.
tells Finn to piss off. Yeah, I remember that.
It was so fucking funny.
It's just like PB should have been executed for war crimes, and like after Islands, my entire memory of that show is so hazy and filled with rage because of just like how horrible they treated the main cast. It wasn't even funny.
Sounds like Adventure Time is the real ending to Game of Thrones.
It really was. Like, if you didn't want to feel disappointed by Game of Thrones, just like turn off Game of Thrones like right after they take the city. Oh, spoilers, by the way. You know, first show that everyone's
no one gives a
on
fuck.
Facebook 2 months ago.
No one cares about the last season, man. Everyone already hates it.
Yeah, like never mind. Okay, anime. We'll talk about anime. I'm done.
You know what Game of Thrones reminds me of, but in reverse?
What?
Attack on Titan.
Oh, where Attack on Titan has
Transition.
steadily gotten better.
Yeah, it started off kind of like ass, and then it got like really fucking good. Like what? What happened?
Did anyone here like Attack on Titan when it was new?
Okay, here's the thing. I saw Attack on Titan season 1 when I was like, it was 2013, right?
Yeah.
2012.
2012?
Let me see.
Yeah, it would have
Let me
been
see here.
2012 or 2013.
That means I saw it when I was 14, and 14-year-old me had his mind blown. And then I looked back on it like a couple years later, and I was like, nah, I would just like the blood. So I was into it, and then I kind of looked back in retrospect, and I thought it was dumb. And now I'm looking back in retrospect at it again, and it's great. What's going on? It's
One
like
sec.
it made the new season made me retroactively change my rating from like a 5 to like a 7 of the first season, just because of how much setup it has.
You should really go back and watch that first season. It's still as low
Okay,
as it was.
fair. It's got some shit, but also the fact that it's setting up like dominoes so far down the line is fucking impressive.
That's the thing. I think the reason you think that is because they incorporate flashbacks to stuff that happened in the first season in the more recent episodes.
This is true.
Those things weren't in the original season. They kind of add those in retrospect. So
okay, well, fair enough.
You can just forget season 1 happened.
Okay,
I think we can all agree that that like the first season, its sole redeeming feature was the intro.
Oh, dude.
Like, if you ever see a list of like, if you ever see a list of like top 10 anime intros or like OPs, and that's not on it, that person's smoking crack.
It's honestly
like that.
I mean, here's the thing: the animation, the actual visuals of that are good, but they're not like great.
No, the song sells it.
The song is
Punch Man
actually
OP.
fantastic, and it's actually like the full version of that song is just one of my favorite songs. Period.
Yeah,
so have all the OPs, honestly. Like all the OPs except for the fourth one.
I like the fourth one because it's dumb.
I hate the fourth one.
Yeah, so like if you had a top 10 list of like top anime OPs, 3 of them should be from Naruto, like Fighting Dreamers.
Honestly, yeah.
And
Oh,
stuff
you know
like
what?
that.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I mean that's the one everybody knows. That I think different.
16.
Than that.
That was
But then,
Kanaboon, yeah.
Kanaboon. Attack on Titan, and then One Punch Man should be like a staple 5 in the top 10 list, which like maybe gives Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood like room for one of those slots.
I don't even remember what that opening is.
I would.
There were like 6.
Oh
I would
god.
definitely have to like, because whenever it comes to openings, for me, it's only like maybe 10-20% the song, and everything else is like, what does the opening say? And
Yeah, of
Naruto
course.
openings are like, it's kind of crazy. There's some openings in the like later Shippuden that are like bananas.
I still think my favorite opening, because they tried really hard to assimilate the opening with what was going on in the arc, like what would precede the arc, what would happen there, like any good show would. They had an arc where like they're just partying on a beach and dancing stupidly, and it had nothing to do with the arc. Like it has all of the members of the Shinsengumi who were killed, or not the Shinsengumi, the dark organization,
Akatsuki?
Red Cloud, or Akatsuki, yeah. They had like all of their corpses like leaning against each other on the beach, like
Oh, that sounds like
It
a
was
corpse
just-
party.
yeah, it was like great. It was a pointless OP, but yet it has like the best visuals of any OP I've ever seen.
At this point, I'm just making references to like piss off Moth.
Okay, I heard
pop
Akatsuki,
culture references.
and
Yeah,
all
in
I
case you guys didn't know, because I refuse to make a pop culture reference and then leave those ignorant in the dark. Corpse Party was a PSP game that got turned into a bunch of other games, and it got a really decent OVA.
It's a pretty good game too.
It got an OVA that did not hold any punches. Like it went nuts.
But anyway, Attack on Titan season 2,
yeah,
season 3,
season 3
amazing.
mostly. Season 2, okay, so it's like it honestly just goes in quality in reverse order basically. Like the season 3 is great, and then it's good, and then it's meh.
I would say
Backwards.
so. The thing about season 2 is that I remember way back whenever first season was happening. totally missed it, but I had it was before I was really into anime. In fact, really into anime. This is back whenever Toonami was my base knowledge and everything else I don't even know. Everyone in their fucking mother was like, hey man, you should watch this. It's like Game of Thrones. And I was like, I've never watched Game of Thrones.
That is the worst reference ever.
You just gave me PTSD.
Horrible.
I'm not even referencing anything. This is what my friend, my buddy Ashton, who I'll probably link this because he likes listening to podcasts. My buddy Ashton was like, hey man, it's fucking great. You should watch it. And this is back whenever I was in like a college preparatory program and I was staying on campus. No, he told me about it then, but I hadn't watched it yet. And I was like, okay. So it stayed on the back burner until like 2013. It was right after, it was during the time when I was couch surfing because I was homeless at the time. And I was just couch surfing at this one German house for a while. And they had internet, and I was like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm going to watch it because people said it's really awesome and has impactful deaths. And as soon as I start watching it...
Impactful deaths.
That's a joke. That show had absolutely zero
every
impact.
Single person who died was so
it's the worst.
Disposable.
Secondary.
Like, every single person that died, 5 minutes before they died, had like a little focus section. And
that
was
like,
when I noticed,
listen,
and it was like,
here's why you should care.
Yeah, it was
Quick,
the worst.
Before we kill them, you have to care.
And then after they die, Aaron gets like his little PTSD moments, and like I fucking even in season 2 and 3, they improve Aaron at the end of season 2 and most of season 3.
Season 3 is where he really actually becomes
totally
a really good character.
Yeah, but like because season 1,
that's the thing, right? It kind of matters that he was kind of a shitty character. I saw a really good video on this actually. No, hang on, hear me out. I saw a video on this. And actually it made me kind of open my eyes a little bit. I think they said this phrase they used was Aaron is like a shonen protagonist in a seinen series.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just turns around on that when he realizes like shit, this doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, but you can do a shonen protagonist in a seinen series. I've seen it done before in something like there's a show I've talked about before called Bokurado. The very first episode, it introduced this fucking Ty from Digimon looking motherfucker who plays soccer, and you're like, oh, he's clearly the main character. And like the twist of that show is that all these kids have to pilot a giant robot one by one, and each time they pilot it...
How is that a twist in an anime?
Let me...
How's that a twist in an anime that the kids are piloting giant robots? All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Bring it, please.
Release you from this mortar coil, finally. But these kids, the twist is, the kids have to pilot the robot, and after their turn to pilot, they die. And they're forced to pilot it at that moment onward because they signed a contract. And the first kid that does it is the raring to go Thai motherfucker who's totally a shonen protagonist in this seinen series, and he fucking's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and he's like, yeah, we killed him, and they reveal that they die at the end of the second episode. It is because he's like, yeah, we did it, and then he just fucking falls backwards, his like lifeless ragged body, and it's like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but you can't just kill Aaron. He's the main character.
Madoka Magica with extra steps.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you have a shonen protagonist in an actual seinen series, they had to fucking bite it.
You
cannot have them
seinen?
just exist.
Are you saying seinen?
Yeah, seinen.
Seinen.
It's seinen.
It's whatever. It's a Japanese word, dude. We can't pronounce it anyway.
The problem is, a guy who goes by the name of Engrish Mike is mispronouncing seinen.
How do they pronounce it in Japanese?
Oh, gomen sorry, Matu-san.
Seinen. All right, now we just lost every other viewer for racism. Great.
That's not racist. That's just English Mike.
Here's the thing: Attack on Titan has no relatable characters. That's why I never watched it.
And
they get better.
I think the closest character I found that was relatable was Reiner. And even he's just a miserable little cow.
You are gonna like Reiner if you keep. I think he actually gets a lot of spotlight.
Yeah, but
I remember watching it, being like, "Oh, Potato Girl, that's kind of funny."
I love Sasha.
I'm supposed to feel bad about this death, but like I've never seen this character.
Armin's the best character.
Potato Girl doesn't die.
No, but like most of the characters who like die, I'm like I don't even like I watched the first season. I don't recognize you. Why did you die? Who were you?
Yeah, no. 90% of the characters who die and especially in the first season, just kind of get introduced like the episode prior. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just, oh, he's been my best friend for years. We went through training together.
remember
Don't you
Levi
remember
Squad?
What?
No one else does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I occasionally catch like a glimpse of it because my wife loves it, and like that scene where Levi is in the bar having a shootout was
Oh,
amazing.
that's so sick, dude. The episode 2 of season 3 is actually like the best animated show of the year last
That's
year, and
honestly amazing.
I apologize for nothing. I want to make it like I've said this like for a year now almost. I want to make an analysis on that whole like episode of how much fucking amazing shots there are. Holy shit. Oh god.
Yeah, that I've rewatched that like at least 5 or 6 times. It's
I've watched
so
it at least
fucking
30. It's it's breathtaking.
But like Attack on Titan season 1, it honestly animation wise, it was fine. It wasn't
was
anything special.
Good at points, like the weird non-canon rage form Eren thing that happened at the end of the season, like with when he was fighting Annie. That looked really good.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was not. That's not canon. That didn't happen in the manga, but I don't know why it's there. But
So what you're saying is anybody who stopped watching Attack on Titan because it was overrated trash, get back into it.
Yeah,
yeah,
actually.
kinda. I'm. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, if you watch the first season, you already got the hard stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might as well continue and get to the good stuff.
I got back
Okay.
into it at season 2 because it was right around season 2 came out in 2017, I think it was.
Yeah.
And that was right around whenever I was first setting up my YouTube channel. And I was like, well, I might do a video on it just talking about how shit it is, so I might as well watch it. And then immediately I like it. Because, they're actually spending a lot of time with the characters, not just to kill them.
And not
Like-
just Eren, the worst character in season 1.
Like, you learn that Sasha is she's an archer. Like, and she uses her archer
Yeah.
skills to actually defend a house against a small titan.
Yeah, she gets
like
a whole
very
episode
small
for
one.
her, and I actually really like that episode. It was kind
It's
of cool.
a good episode.
It is.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that season 2 does. Season 2 fixes all the problems season 1 because Eren and Mikasa they are in it until like the last episode.
Yeah,
like-
kind of, and that's good because they're the most boring characters.
And then
At least up until
season
that point, anyway.
3, even like Levi's the one that people all like have a hype boner for. Season 3 is the season that actually goes towards developing him more as a character and making
Yeah.
him more interesting. So
And Eren too. Eren actually becomes a character.
yeah.
Mikasa stays the same, boring. I hate her, but
Mikasa's just
Mikasa hasn't
still,
changed at all since episode 1, dude.
No, she has changed, and she's still overpowered, quiet, demure girl. But they haven't let her really kill any titans anymore, so it's less obvious.
I've read ahead in the manga. I don't know if you have.
No.
Okay, well, she does have a little change later. She does change. Just in the 50 odd episodes we've had so far, she hasn't. At least in my eyes. It's kind of crazy.
She's a plot MacGuffin, aka an Ackerman.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I got a question for you guys.
What's poppin'?
I'm looking at the next season of anime to bring up like a topic conversation.
Frog's about to
I could-
fucking finish.
I could have sworn there was a show about a bunch of high schoolers who get stranded on like a bug island, and like giant bugs are murdering them.
Don't know
was gonna
that
air
one,
next
but that
season.
sounds cool.
That sounds
Was that
awesome.
last season? Was it this season?
I don't-
I've just been
I have no
missing it.
idea.
Island.
I have 6 shows I'm watching this summer season. That's way more than I ever do. That's,
Really, I think that's about average for me.
Yeah, about same for me. I honestly hope every single one of them is really bad and disappointing, just so Frog can like be sad.
Just consider I watched 2 shows this season, and I started 3, finished 2. I haven't finished Demon Slayer yet. I'm planning on getting to it.
It's fucking awesome.
I'll catch up.
Demon Slayer's great. Yeah, like
I liked it. I didn't love it, but maybe it'll get better. I still liked it a lot. It's still like a 7 out of 10 so far. The first 3 episodes.
There's one show I really want to talk about because I guess a lot of people don't have Amazon Prime Video, and so they miss stuff like Dororo. Not that I want to talk about Dororo. I want to talk about Karakuri Circus.
Okay.
Oh, the one with the really jamming OP in the second season.
I haven't watched that yet.
Bump of Chickens intro?
No, the second one with the one by Kanabun.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Karakuri Circus is just the absolute worst best anime I think I've ever seen. Like,
Go on.
absolutely garbage in every single way, and yet I love it. Like,
I'm intrigued.
the main kid is useless. Let's take him, throw him out the window. Terrible. The main girl, like, just, you know, she's kind of terrible. But let's talk about the circus performer. I'm actually, like, trying to remember his name right now because I can never remember anybody's name. Yeah, no, I've completely given up. Yeah, Kato. Main character Kato. Just the most endearing and retarded shonen character I have ever met.
I like those.
Like, or ever seen. He starts in a bear costume in the very first episode. And the very first thing he does is punch a bunch of robots to save a small child for no reason other than he feels he should. And then he goes on to practice kung fu, and he, like, steadily gets better at kung fu as the episodes go on. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm a great kung fu artist. It's like, okay. It's like, by the way, I'm the best kung fu artist. Oh, okay. By the way, I'm a kung fu god, damn it. And everyone's like, what? And he just, like, progressively starts beating up robots as a kung fu artist. And then suddenly, the bulk of his shonen body is used to protect a small child from burning to death in a 1,000-degree inferno. And, you think he dies. Like, obviously he doesn't die because he shows up in the very next OP. But, like, he gets a robot arm, and his robot arm somehow makes him good enough to fight these robots, these puppets, that are just, like, 10 times stronger than the average human being, using nothing but kung fu and his sheer will to live. And it's just, it is the worst anime for, like, it's everything you shouldn't do in an anime, and yet it's so endearing and beautiful, I can't stop loving it.
That sounds like everything I love about 90s anime.
Oh, it's better than 90s.
So
well,
it's like
it was a
just
90s manga.
Schlock. Just really good schlock.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
just really good schlock.
Schlock,
Sounds
like,
fun.
that's what got me into anime, the schlocky shit that I find in fucking video rental stores. It's the fucking best.
By the way, quick tangent. Does anybody know what Fire Force is actually about?
Yeah. Tangentially, because Cat told me-
Firefighters that fight fire with fire!
Yeah, no, yeah. So, I mean, I can give you, like, I have not read the manga, but I'm excited for the anime, because I heard the premise. It's like, there's, like, spontaneous combustion is happening, and when it happens, to people, they turn into, like, fire demons or something like that, and then the Fire Force, which are, like, the firefighters, have to fight the fire with fire powers that they have. Fire.
You want to know something that's kind of
That just
funny?
literally sounds like the plot of Tokyo Ghoul, but with fire.
It's actually exactly the plot of Promare, which is that movie I'm really hyped to see by Trigger. It's
I
the
can't wait for
exact same
Promare.
plot. I watched the
There was,
first
like, a
five,
weird scandal about that.
I watched the first 5 minutes of it because they released it on YouTube, and it's very beautiful imagery. And then as I was watching, I was like, "This motherfucker just copied Fire Force."
I saw a scandal about that like, the author of Fire Force, like, said people are copying my work or some shit, like, and I was like, my Trigger fanboy mind went immediately to, like, doubt, but I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, they've been planning Premiere for, like, since 2014 or something. So I don't know.
So, talking about, real quick, because I finally found the name of that anime that I'm looking for. So side note, when I'm not in love with just senseless murder, or when I'm not in love with, like, just gay men being gay and bulgy and gay, I really love senseless murder, and I like watching people who deserve to die horribly.
Yeah.
So the name of the anime that is coming out, it's actually next season, it starts June 20th, I just can't find anything about
Day
it.
after my birthday.
Is Kyochu Reto. And I probably horribly mispronounced that, but basically it's murder porn, but it leans a little bit too much on the porn aspect and less on the murder, because it's a high school. Their plane crashes. They were flying and they landed on a bug island. Their plane crashes, and the main girl is like not a botany. What is the damn study of bugs called? I know
Entomology.
mermology is spider. Entomology. Yeah. Thank you. She's a huge entomologist and, like, survival expert. So she absolutely loves it. Like, so she's on this island and she's recognizing these giant bugs and surviving because of it.
Oh, I have seen stuff.
But
like
all of her classmates are just, like, dying in the worst possible ways. And that's great because they're all contrived and horrible characters that deserve to die. The problem is when they're not getting murdered, they're just whipping their tits out and getting raped by bugs.
Was this just High School of the Bugs?
Yeah, it's like the very first bug that kills a girl is like eating her out with its giant like cat or like its giant butterfly tongue, and then it just sucks her soul out through her vagina.
Ah.
I don't know if that sounds like the best thing I've ever heard or like something I never want to see.
By the way, I'm gonna spoiler tag what I'm about to send you guys because this is just like the most horrifying thing ever. But this is like the level of murder that you see.
I'm gonna fucking check this shit out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, like it looks great, right?
That's from the manga?
Oh
Yeah.
shit, that looks awesome.
Yeah, so like this is the scene that happened right before that happened. Like so you kind of see like how the death is amping up. And it's really good, but it's like, "Oh, there's giant titties.
There's larvas crawling up in her pussy.
Yeah, like it's horrifying. Like but the problem is it's too it's murdery, and I like murdery, but it's way too fetishy. It's almost just like if a Riona game got approval to be in a manga.
And this is getting an adaptation this summer?
It's getting an adaptation. I don't know how. I have no idea how, unless they do the thing that Terraformers did, where you can't even watch half the manga.
What's it called, sorry?
Kyocho Raitu.
I'm looking for it on Mal right now. Hang on.
Yeah. I'll send you the spelling real
That'd
quick.
be great, thanks. I want to see like how it looks in the anime form.
That's the thing. We don't know much about the anime form because like all the trailers for it have been very. They've just been like very very quick. Like I got the teaser PV up right now.
I have a
Just crashed my
feeling
web
that
browser.
this is gonna be very low budget, and it's just gonna be
Yeah.
the
If
fetish
it,
series of the season.
what's the
You mean
studio?
like Backstreet Girls was?
Passione? Passione is a studio?
I don't know.
What's Passione?
That's the people doing this anime.
Who's Passione though?
Like, from part
who's
5.
Passione? From part 5?
Yeah, the gang, the boss, the gangster like mafia in part 5 of JoJo is called Passione.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you want to know what they did? They did High School DxD, Hero. They did Citrus, and they did Rail Wars. So a shitty, porny anime is.
So they like
totally up their
they like
alley.
Yeah,
they're
but
like
they
animating
also
tits.
did Raka no Yusha, and that's not a bad show.
I don't even know what you just said, but I don't care.
It's
Like-
I mean, Raka no Yusha. It's this show about there's this prophecy. I think that these like 6 people will save the world, and they all converge on this one location. But there's a 7th one of them, and
Ooh.
it's like this. I didn't say it was fucking art. Okay, I said it. It's
I
not.
was gonna say this sounds like a lot like this sounds a lot like the plot for Birdmen for some reason.
Wait. The Michael Keaton movie?
Are you retarded?
Yes.
You don't know what Birdman is?
I don't know. What
Attorney at
Birdman
Law?
is.
No, Birdman.
Harvey
is,
Birdman?
No, it's no more pop culture references.
Wait,
No,
no, we
I'm
gotta
asking
explain
what
what
you
Harvey
mean.
Birdman is.
Birdman is a shonen about guys or people who I don't know. My wife likes it more than me, but it's they get powers. They're high school
Oh, it's
students
a
who
manga.
get powers, and they're called like Birdmen. And it's good. It's really good. It's a manga. It'll never get an anime, so of course I won't know anything about it because I don't read manga.
Just read a fucking manga.
I'm not gonna read a manga. Beelzebub is one of my top 10 animes of all time, and it ended halfway through the series on the anime, and I will never know how the
Why?
manga ends because I don't read it.
Just do it. Don't
No.
be a bitch.
Okay, Moth, you really like Kakaishi's one of my favorite anime, and it has a read the manga ending, and I read the manga, and it's one of my favorite manga, so you should probably do that.
What's Kakaishi about?
It's about this high school kid and his childhood best friend who lives next door, who both have to defend hallowed ground from Ayakashi.
Wait. Is that the barrier one?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great anime. Too bad it ended the way it did.
I mean, you should really. I love you, Moth. You're probably.
Nope, not reading. I'm not reading. It's just not happening.
He doesn't even read
I love-
anime. It's just his TV has bumps on it. He's just fucking feels
Yeah,
it.
it's got braille that appears. No, like I love One Piece. I adore One Piece. It's probably like one of my favorite animes just because of how long it's been going. And I still refuse to read the manga. I sit there and deal with the 10 pages of a chapter bullcrap that they do with the TV show because I hate reading that much.
But just do it.
No,
It's so much better. than
No,
the
it's
anime for
not.
One Piece. No, like for One Piece specifically, at least some anime, I think, I agree, some anime actually do become better than the manga, just because of how well they're adapted. I think part 5 of JoJo is actually mostly better than the manga, because just that part is kind of a mess in the manga. Not just because of the translations. I actually read the new translations, which are good, just in case if anyone's going to call me out. I read the new translations.
Bar, Frog.
What?
That's a low bar.
What is?
the part 5 anime is better than the part 5 manga.
No, I think part 5 is actually good. I'm not.
Are you talking about JoJo?
Yeah.
Yeah, part 5's trash.
Okay, you just don't like it because there's no buff dudes in it.
Yeah, well, like, no, but I'm excited for part 6, and there's no buff dudes in that, so, like...
Yeah, there's a
I
muscle
think the
lady
point
in it,
is
so...
invalid. Okay, but still, like, part 5 is just... There's no charm from JoJo. Part 5
No, where you're
feels
getting these weird
barely-
ideas.
Part 5 feels barely less dry than part 1, which is, like, the most
All right,
irredeemable, boring part I've ever seen.
Let's hold off on part 5, because we're totally going to talk about it in the future when part 5 is over, the anime.
Okay.
So
Good news.
let's table that.
Guys, Polnareff gets to walk again.
Are you still watching it then?
Of course I'm still watching it. I gotta know what's going on so I can watch part 6 and actually enjoy it.
Dude, none of the parts connect. What are you on about?
Okay,
Of course
part
they connect.
6 connects
Barely.
to part 4, so you can
A
just
little
skip
tiny
5
bit.
and you'll be fine.
Just finish part 5. It's
Actually-
good.
Like, here's the thing. When I can only think of one character I like in a part, there's something horribly wrong
I mean,
with the part.
it just sounds like you're just opinionated, sir. This is a good part.
I'm just waiting for
5
part
is
7.
boring.
Part 7's... Oh, I can't wait.
That's gonna.
I can't wait for part 6 and 7. I don't know about part 8 because apparently it's still going. But
It's
like,
about to end.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, I think he's already I believe he already announced that he's working on the next part,
Oh. Wow,
or
wow.
like he's in the early stages of planning it out.
That's crazy. Hope so.
But let's, we just talked about Karakuri Circus and it being on Amazon Prime, so let's talk about something from Amazon Prime that I
You were
like.
saying about this earlier in the Discord, I think.
you gonna talk about Dororo?
No, although I love Dororo, it's still good. Still good. I'm expecting it to go downhill just because I own the manga and know
It's
where
not.
it goes.
No, here's the thing. If you haven't noticed, they're like, hey, this is what was good about the manga, and this is what sucked, and they're just
Oh, yeah.
sidestepping what sucked unrepentantly.
Oh yeah, no, they've even made changes. Like everything that's happening right now, I don't remember it happening in the manga. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's good because of it.
But what I want to
the
talk
manga?
about, well,
I did not, but I'm just
I know you
making
did.
baseless statements, and you guys are agreeing with me, so it's
No, I'm
great.
talking about him.
I
'Cause, like,
own the
that
manga.
manga's
It's right
old
in
as
front of
shit.
me.
I think it was old as
Yeah, and
fuck.
you think I read it? No, I'm just saying stuff.
I'm not
and you
saying
guys are
you
agreeing with
did.
me, so I'm getting away with it.
I'm not talking
Yeah,
to you, dude.
I own the manga. It's one of my favorite mangas, even though it's like kind of trash.
Okay.
But anyway, Amazon Prime. I have
Okay.
been watching a lot of shit on. I'm going to talk
Okay.
about one thing really quickly, and then one show that's new that just came out. First thing is, have either of you heard of The Tick?
No.
All right. I'll let you have this conversation. I'm not going to say anything.
I mean, it's gonna be a one-person conversation. So.
That's fine. I'm gonna big recommendation for The Tick. At least the first season. I haven't watched much of the second season. Now this is the second live action version of The Tick. The Tick is it's a super niche comedy that parodies a lot of superhero tropes. It started in the 90s. There's the animated series from the 90s that's really good. There's also a live action series from the 90s that's okay. But this is the most recent one. It's more narratively focused, and it's really good. It's really fun. I really recommend it. It's The Tick. It's about a guy named Arthur who he lives in this world that has superheroes in it, and
Arthur is the rabbit, right?
he's a moth.
Oh, okay. Why did I always think he was a rabbit?
Everyone calls him a rabbit because his
Okay.
his antenna look like fucking rabbit ears, and it pisses him off.
Okay.
But he's a normal human being, except whenever he was a kid, the Terror, which is the big bad guy of this world, fucking dropped a spaceship on top of his dad while he was eating ice cream, and out of the spaceship came the team of basically the Fantastic Four of this world, and then he fucking melted their eyes and cut off their arms right in front of him, and then he walked over to him and he's like, "Why are you crying, boy?" And he's like, "You killed my dad." And he was like, "Well, tough titty!" And then he fucking steals his ice cream and eats it in front of him and walks off. It's hilarious. And the show is about him as an adult. He's become kind of loopy because he watched his dad and his favorite superhero team get killed right in front of him, and he's convinced that this bad guy who was supposedly killed is still alive. And in his research to try and figure out if he actually is alive, a character appears called the Tick, who is this big man in skin-tight spandex, who...
Patrick Warburton,
yeah,
right?
In the original 90s one. This is a...
I know.
He's... To say he's basically... The show has a Superman, but he's as strong as a Superman, except he can't fly, and he just walks around, like, calling people chum and shit. He's a silver age... He's a golden age comic book character in this real world. And at first, no one really sees or remembers him, and later people do recognize him. But at the beginning of this first season, it really feels like Arthur has this fucking stand called the Tick that just appears and beats the shit out of people. And it even goes so far as to, like, he randomly disappears and shit. And the show's canceled now, so I don't think they're going to go much further with it. But it kind of implies that this character exists because he's Arthur's actual superpower that manifests him in the real life, which is really cool. I think
you are critically analyzing way too much. It was a happy parody series created around the same time as Freakazoid, when 90s literally nickel comic books were like everybody and their dog was making comic book came out, and it just parodied them. And it was great, and it was good and wholesome and wonderful.
But that's the original... It was the same thing
with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where the whole purpose of it was just to parody this stuff.
Yeah, but that's the original one. This remake for Amazon Prime, it has like its own story and everything, but it's still a parody. It's still comedy. It has the same charm as the old one.
I mean, it's not Patrick Warburton, but yeah.
Yeah, but like the guy they got for it is just not like Patrick I would say Warburton. He's not Patrick Warburton, but he's really good.
But here's what you're missing though. He's not Patrick Warburton.
Listen here, Moth. I'm going to stop talking about the Tick.
That is the only man who could ever be the Tick. I'm sorry, he did it perfect. You
should really, you know what? By the time we record next, give the Tick a shot. I know you have Amazon Prime.
I did. I watched the first 2 episodes. It wasn't Patrick Warburton.
But going on to another show, this one that I watched, I started watching it last night because I was like, fuck. I got done editing the video for this week's episode, or last week's episode. We'll edit that. I said this week's out. I got done editing it, and I was like, fuck it. I still got like an hour before I want to go to bed. I'd put on this show called The Good Omen. It is a show based off a book written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
It is about an angel and a demon. The demon played by David Tennant, who who
ruined Doctor Who.
I don't even know anything about Doctor Who. I don't know what to say. So.
No. David Tennant is
this last half an hour
actor.
has just been like,
Moth, I will put my fucking pinky in your butthole.
No. You gotta understand where I'm coming from here. All right, first off, Good Omen's good. Watch it. It's great. It's entertaining. It's got great jokes in it. I love it. I agree. I fully endorse it. Watch Good Omens. It's fun.
At least, okay, but before you go forward, let me finish, because people won't know what Good Omens is, probably, because it's on Amazon Prime. So it's about this angel and the demon that have to track down the Antichrist after they lose him as a child. and it's hilarious. It has just, I mean, it's written by fucking Terry Pratchett, Neil Gaiman, so there's tons of like religious jokes that are really funny. God is the narrator of the show. It's really fun. It's really good. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I actually really like what they did with the angel.
He's great.
The fact that what is the main angel's name? It's not Gabriel, because Gabriel's in the show.
Oh, and like, Gabriel is played by fucking John Hamm.
Patrick Warburton.
That's not Patrick Warburton. That's John Hamm. Fuck you.
No, but like the angel is really nice because you'd expect this stuffy, can never do wrong kind of guy, and he's just incompetent and wholesome, and he's great to watch.
And they're like they're kind of gay too. It's really weird.
You get that. No, it's really good. It's a good comedy. It's very British though, so if you can't handle like the Hitchhiker's Guide Discworld level comedy, which of course Terry Pratchett did Discworld.
Yeah.
If you can't handle that comedy, then there's not going to be anything for you. But if you can, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't finished it. I only watched episode 2. Or no, I watched episode 3 this morning before I got up and got about my day. But it's fantastic. Like, I can't recommend it enough. Like, they have this great thing where before every title sequence, they have like, this is what happened in these characters' lives before the story. And like in episode 3, the first 30 minutes is just a prequel telling you more about these characters. And then they do a fucking title card. And I'm like, what? Why is the title card happening now? And I check the timer, and they're still an hour into the episode. So they even take their time with the episode lengths. Like, they're not afraid to have the episodes be an hour and a half, be an actual movie. It's fantastic. Like, and there's also really great subplots in it, with a witch hunter hunting a witch who's also looking for the Antichrist. It's good.
Yeah, it's one moment. I'm just, because I now have to defend my opinion on what's his name ruining Doctor Who.
David Tennant didn't ruin. David Tennant did not ruin Doctor Who. I can tell you who ruined Doctor Who. It was
who ruined it.
It was a fucking showrunner. What's his fucking name?
Matt Smith?
No, not Matt Smith. I like Matt Smith.
Okay.
H-Bomber guy did it.
Yeah, H-Bomber guy ruined it.
No. Here's the thing, all right? And maybe because like every doctor kind of brings something to the table. Like that's the thing. It's always been like, oh, you get a new doctor, it's going to take the things in a different location. I grew up watching Doctor Who because my father's a psychopath. Like, I grew up listening to Bob Dylan, watching Doctor Who. Like, I'm amazed that I know anything from the 90s or the 2000s, anything even remotely current era, because like DVDs were a new technology. Like, my father was obsessed with these old things and making his children appreciate like Muddy Waters. So I love Doctor Who. Like, you're talking about like Tom Baker, and we're going all the way back and talking about it. Like, even the first dude who died on set while filming. Like, that was my show. And so they come back swinging hard with Christopher Eccleston. And Christopher Eccleston was everything a doctor needed to be.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
He was cold. He was calculated. He was an absolute monster. Like,
well, he wasn't really even a monster. He was like,
cost.
The thing that made him such a great doctor is that he was terrified. Like,
yeah, he was. Well, okay, but like at the end of the day, he wasn't very emotional. He was just like, I get stuff done.
You got to think back to the two-parter with is episode 3 and 4 that was with the Are You My Mummy episodes.
Oh, that was a terrifying episode, but it was great.
And it ends with him. It's one of like the great moment, because in this episode no one dies, and he has this great moment where he just, everybody lives just this once, and it's like, you get you feel how like he's so beat down and destroyed with how much bullshit he's had to deal with as the Doctor.
Yeah. And so, Christopher Eccleston was great. In my opinion, he was the best Doctor. Now that's, and then we get David Tennant. David Tennant, phenomenal actor, had a lot of passion for Doctor Who. Like, I mean, he was the kid who grew up loving Doctor Who, married the 7th Doctor's daughter. Like, this dude was a total Doctor Who fan. And honestly, David Tennant's a great actor. Mm-hmm. But he went from, I'm going to shoot somebody in the face to get something done, to I'm so sorry, I can't do anything to help you. I'm so sorry. Like, I think he said I'm so sorry, or just I'm sorry as a doctor, single-handedly more times than anybody else ever. Like, all the other doctors combined.
But
he was so emotional and he was so human that I couldn't handle him.
see, that's the thing, though. Like, the thing that makes the Doctor such a great character is that he is the most human, despite being an alien. Like even Matt Smith used to be my favorite because he's really eccentric. Although, the thing that I say ruined Doctor Who was actually Stephen Moffat, the showrunner, from David Tennant to... God, he just the new Doctor is the new showrunner. Like, he's been the person just fucking steering the fucking wheel into the fucking trash compactor for a while. David Tennant as a Doctor, I think he's phenomenal, but I definitely see where you're coming from. I think people can make the argument for David Eccleston being the best new Who Doctor.
Chris Eccleston?
Yeah, and I'm willing to hear that argument, acknowledge it, and even say I kind of agree. But David Tennant now, like, I've rewatched...
David Tennant saved the show.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to pretend he didn't. It's just, he wasn't the Doctor. And so I have never seen a show's target demographic go from 40, 50-year-old angry, like, Beatles enthusiasts to a bunch of 17-year-old girls ever in my life. Like, the target demographic for Doctor Who has actually shifted from old men to young women. Like,
well, that's
it
the
blows
thing, though.
my mind.
Doctor Who, the original show, was a children's educational program. Like, it...
Until the first Doctor died on set, and then they just took it and ran.
I don't think he actually died on set. Like, they stopped...
Yes, he did.
I watched a documentary on his life.
He died on set, and a janitor came to, like, check his
not
pulse,
what
and they were
happened.
filming, and film is expensive, so they just pointed to the janitor, and they're like, look, you're the second Doctor, just pretend you transcended it, we will edit it in post using Sharpie markers, just go.
Moth, I think...
And that's how the Doctor reincarnation theory began.
No, what actually happened is that the first Doctor... I hate you so much, Moth. You're such a piece of shit.
We're an anime podcast. We're arguing about how an old man died on set.
You know what? Watch Good Omen, fellas. Watch it. It's fantastic.
I tuned out for like
die on set.
10
Jesus
minutes.
Christ.
What are we on? Old people are dying all of a sudden?
Yeah, like, you know how Harrison Ford became, like, Han Solo he was sweeping on set, and the guy they had for it didn't show up, so they're like, you're Han Solo now. That's what happened with the first Doctor. Just, like, the guy had a stroke on set, some guy went to check his pulse, and the director's like, no, say something smart. And then 10 years later, you got a guy running around with a stupid multicolor scarf. Like, bada bing.
Moth, I think you should just, record yourself talking about how you think this applies to everything when there's a cast change. It's kind of amazing. You could make an entire documentary creating this conspiracy of bullshit. It would be great. I fucking hate you so much.
I was going to ask you about that. Once we start going on in the series, I was going to have, like, break-off episodes where I just, like, quietly talk into the microphone about all my conspiracy theories. And we could have it, like, on the weeks where we're not recording, we can just have Moth, like, angrily rambling into his microphone to fill the downtime.
You know what? Fine, you can have your own Alex Jones show as long as you keep it out of here.
They're turning the freaking shonen characters gay.
We can't make that same reference in two different episodes right next to each other.
Sarah's on my.
We talked about Sarah's on my 3 times.
I don't care. Sarah's on my is the pivotal anime. That
it is.
and Demon Slayer this season are all you need to watch.
Once Sarah's on my is over, we're definitely gonna sequester that into its own little thing and discuss everything.
I don't want to surprise you guys.
I am not.
I don't want to be out of nowhere here. This is going to be out of left field. I've been browsing Netflix while you guys talked about dumb bullshit. Minecraft Story Mode is on here.
Yeah.
Wait. I thought that was like an Amazon Prime thing.
It's a video game.
Yeah, you can play Minecraft Story Mode on Netflix.
You can play it?
Yeah, you play it.
Is this like what they did with Black Mirror?
Yeah, except worse.
Okay. You can play the game?
Yeah, you can play Minecraft Story Mode.
Excuse me?
It's Minecraft Story Mode, and it kind of plays itself, but if you wanted to, you're
Yeah,
good.
but like, what? It has like how does that work?
Well, They've been doing that forever, like with Puss in Boots, where you have to have an interactive controller and you have to have a smart TV.
What the fuck?
Basically,
There's a Man vs. Wild show on Netflix with Bear Grylls, and you
call
can
You versus Wild.
yeah, you can make him do shit. And I booted that up hoping I could kill him, and you can't kill him. It pissed me off.
But can you make him drink his own piss?
Yes.
Okay. At like every option, like I'm standing by a cool, clear running river, and there's just an option to drink his own piss.
There's no danger around. I have plenty of supplies.
I thought it was just like they made a show or just ripped the cutscenes out of the game and put them on
Nope.
Netflix. But no, you
can
play
play
it.
Nope.
Yeah,
That's so stupid.
dude, it
So,
plays the exact same as if you're playing the actual game.
Do you actually do the QuickTime events and everything?
Yes.
No,
Oh
you get paused. Wait, you actually have QuickTime events?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want to play this on Twitch now. Holy shit!
You guys should play Minecraft Story Mode on Netflix.
No, this reminds me of like this reminds me of Resident Evil 4, which was a perfect game, except you'd be watching a cutscene and suddenly a QuickTime event would happen. You have no idea what was going on because you can't tell the cutscenes apart from the QuickTime events. And at no point can you put your controller down to scratch your ass because otherwise you're gonna get your throat slit.
Oh, this is blowing my mind.
I love that Moth is discovering himself in this episode.
This is fucking me up a
Not
little
Moth,
No,
but
it's
Frog.
not me. It's Frog.
Fuck.
No,
yeah.
it's we are not gonna have a deep analysis of Sarah's on mine because there's no depth to it.
What
It's
are
just
you fucking
enjoyable.
on about?
It is
Are you?
just
You're
enjoyable.
letting me, okay,
eye
I mean now
candy.
you're just actually just trying to. I mean you always are.
No, Moth.
No,
Moth thinks that all bodies of water, be they the ocean or a puddle, are just as deep. Like he can't see it.
No, it's the depth of Sarah's on my is a couple of socially inept kids get their prostates yanked out to fight things, and then none of them can choose what they want for a wish, and because of that, one of them dies, and they have to waste their wish reviving him. And now,
Spoilers!
Okay, by the time there's no spoilers.
Sarah's
Shut up.
on,
What the fuck are you talking about?
Sarah's on my is actually about the difficulties
Bleep
of
that.
communication, and
Believe that.
I didn't hear it what he just said. Like
He spoiled it. You'll hear it in post.
the audio cut out on my call.
Post.
You'll hear it in post. He
It's
spoiled
about
it.
it's about the difficulties
just-
of communication and how hard it can be to actually trust people. That's what it's actually about.
I'm pretty sure it's about being closet gay.
No,
with
it's
your best
about
friend.
like being like having to communicate that and like how hard
It's
it
like
is.
one aspect of one relationship in the show
it's
about
actu-
relationships.
Every single relationship in that show is gay. Literally.
There's two.
No, every single
You think
relationship.
the brother-brother relationship is gay, dude?
Yes.
All right.
Because this is I would not say that if this wasn't the same guy who did Yuri Coma and Penguin
Doesn't
Drum.
mean he has
like
to
this
make it-
dude already treads incest for fun. Like,
Incest
come
and
on.
Yuri Kuma?
Clear. There was no sexual
No,
tension
but there
between
is in Penguin Drum.
anything involving the brother.
Yeah, no, he's just a cute little Shota.
This is the brother arc was unnecessary. It was to add depth to
What?
a character that didn't need it. It was just,
What?
hey, we have
What do
Sasuke.
you
We
mean?
know he's Sasuke. We would know he's Sasuke even if you didn't have
Let's
a
just keep
douchebag older
him
brother for him.
simple. Let's just take this character who could be something really cool and then keep him that way instead of making him
Moth's-
really cool.
The
That
way
sounds
Moth
fun.
analyzes things is by the same like method that we used for math problems. It's keep it simple, stupid.
That's
But,
good for some shows like a comedy, but this is not. It's a character drama.
But I will say, Sarah's on my had been losing me for about 2 to 3 episodes here. But this last episode really reeled me back.
God, that
You're
last one was
crazy.
so good,
hey,
though.
The last episode, yes, fantastic. We need to cap this conversation so that we can really go into it.
There's no depth to go into it though. We can just say what happens in the episode, and that's exactly what happens.
What are
There's
you
no
talking
undertones or
about?
anything.
You make me want to shout.
Like
You did it.
we all love this anime, but like you guys are making a mountain out of a mole.
You're making a molehill out of a mountain. You're doing you're doing that thing everyone does in A-Gate where they're just like you just minimize the whole like thing of something. No, that's what you do. Never mind. Yeah, you're doing what you do. You just like say something and then minimize it to a sentence and say like that's it.
It's three friends discovering their relationship and how it's going to develop over a year in high school, and sometimes they suck people's prostates out. But that's the show.
What you no
yes,
Frog,
but that's
Frog. What
that's
he doesn't
vague.
realize, that vague thing he just said has more depth in it than he thinks it does. It's about these three people discovering themselves. There's so much depth in there.
No,
Each relationship that they discover themselves through is unique and different and has its own
and it's all intertwined together as well.
It is literally Stand By Me, the anime.
I hate you so much. Oh, Stand By Me is a terrible...
Down to them consistently finding dead bodies.
Oh, fuck, I hate you so much. To keep on the trend of explaining references that Moth just had to fuck... Stand By Me is the only good Stephen King story about a bunch of kids that go on a journey to find a dead body so they can poke it with a stick.
And I mean, tell me Sarah's On My isn't that.
Okay, but
it's not.
But Moth is actually hitting on something, because the actual story of Stand By Me is these kids actually growing more as friends and learning things about each other, and they actually like realize that they're actual people with actual issues that they have to go through, and it's really emotional and powerful. So yes, this is the perfect comparison that Moth can make, because he doesn't understand the intricacies of either story.
No, here's the thing. I'm going to go off on this tangent because you forced me to. Stephen King is a terrible child writer. Now, Stephen King's a great writer, gets really deep into people's fears. Pet Sematary is good.
Stephen King's a terrible writer, but good, continue.
The one... No, he's overrated, but he can write. Misery, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption, great. My issue with Stephen King is he seems to have this opinion of children, that all children, regardless of their age, want to have sex and want to be more of adults than they actually are. None of his children seem real. They seem like horny adults trapped in 12-year-old bodies.
That's what 12-year-olds are. They're horny adults trapped in 12-year-old bodies.
No, when I was 12 years old, I was playing Mega Man X and enjoying Animal Crossing. I wasn't sitting there going, oh man, I totally want to go bang the redheaded chick with daddy issues. Oh boy, I hope a clown doesn't rape me in the shower.
I mean, when I was 12 years old, I was hoping a clown wouldn't rape me in the shower, but that might be beside the point.
The 12 is a bit young, but like it depends on the person, obviously. But like, I somewhat agree with this statement. Like, dude, it is fucking weird, dude.
Like, Stephen King cannot write children.
What's the one where they all fuck each other in the sewers?
That's it.
That would be it.
That's it. Yeah, okay, I thought it was it. Yeah, that's a little...
The first half of that book ends with a child
That one's
orgy.
a little bit weird. Yeah, that one's really a bit off.
Yeah, and then Stephen King, he did that Bazaar of Bad Dreams, which is just a bunch of like his stories, his short stories and whatnot. Like, the very first story starts with a bunch of horny kids sitting in a gas station watching a car eat people. Like, I kid you not, that is the entire story. It is just, that's all I get from Stephen King is just, oh man, let's look at these horny kids trying to grow up while being horny.
It reminds me of, like, Junji Ito or something. Less about horny and just more about short stories that don't go anywhere.
Well,
not in a bad way.
Yeah, No, Junji Ito is the Stephen King of Japan.
I would even say that.
In a good way.
Literally.
I like him a lot.
All of his stories are hit and miss, though. Like,
I guess they never miss, huh?
Spiral, which is like his most famous story. Oh, now here I'm admitting I've actually read manga. Shit. Yeah, so Spiral. Honestly, it felt more like Junji Ito wanted to do body gore and body porn and like draw really weird situations, because Spiral makes zero sense. It's just really messed up situations.
I would argue that Spiral,
until it ultimately
Spiral
leads
is literally
to
about a
nihilism.
community spiraling down. Like it makes a lot like, yeah,
Visual metaphor.
the spiral.
Well, it's a visual metaphor.
It's not an actual question.
No, but I you know what? That makes more sense to me now that the town is slowly devolving into a downwards. I get that. Okay, you know what? Yeah. Okay, Spiral officially is better than anything.
That's a
Stephen
low
King has
ass
ever
bar,
written.
Moth.
Except for Misery. I will stand by Pet Sematary.
I will
and
give
Misery
you.
being good.
I'll give you Pet Cemetery. I'll give you Misery. I'll give you Shawshank. Even. Well, no, not Shawshank. Even Shawshank is good.
Like-
Shawshank out.
Speaking of amazing spiral imagery,
No, my issue is a lot of the time the Stephen King books aren't good, and then they just get really good actors. Like, you can't make a bad movie with Morgan Freeman or Kathy Bates. It's impossible.
Yeah, the book. His books are terrible. Like the reason he's as popular as he is because people adapted his shit, and he hates all of the adaptations that get made, so he makes his own, and they're all terrible.
Well, it's like the original It. It's not a good book, but then you get Tim Curry to do the movie, and suddenly it's an amazing book, or it's an amazing TV series.
But the only good thing about that TV series is fucking Tim Curry going waha waha as he's like hamming it the fuck up. It's so amazing, but the actual series sucks.
Yeah, it's like going like really dark and really morbid. Rose Red, which is a 4-part TV series. Rose Red, boring book, just made it through, no big deal. But then the TV series is like one of the few times in my life I've been genuinely too afraid to watch something.
The only thing I remember
Rose Red
about
was
that is
terrifying.
the psychic little girl, and that's it.
That series has so much like jump scares in it, it's not even funny. It has way too many jump scares for what it is.
Gee,
Like, it relies heavily on jump scares, but it's all terrifying. I'll also give Kingdom Hospital props, because Kingdom Hospital had an aardvark, and
I
I
want to
just
put a
can't hate
time out
something
on
with an
this real
aardvark.
quick, Moth. Are you fucking eating a chip? Not Moth, Frog. I keep saying Moth when I mean
No, I'm
Frog.
not.
Frog, are you fucking eating a chip? You fucking asshole.
I'm really sorry for you in post, dude. It's not a chip, first of all. These are snow peas.
I'm gonna snow pee in your mouth.
Why are you eating? We're literally streaming. Why are you eating? Like, it's a 2-hour segment where we record twice a week. Are you going to tell me you do not get adequate nutrition during that time?
I was craving a snow pea.
What?
Anyway, let's go ahead.
All right.
I can stop eating. I went upstairs to get them while you're talking about fucking... what do they call it? What was it called? I don't know.
Stephen King.
Okay.
I had a lot of time on my hands.
Well, like, give us some interjection. Talk about what has been exciting Frog. Like, what has been exciting you in the world of anime this week?
Oh, in the world of anime, okay. I was gonna say tits.
Fair. I mean, those are exciting.
Yeah. Anime, I don't know. Like, I think I've already said most of my piece. Attack on Titan was surprisingly great. I didn't expect it to grab me. I haven't been reading many manga, and I surely should be. I'm sorry. I read something.
Chainsaw
something.
Man
What was it?
remains to be like one of my potential favorites.
Oh yeah, everyone
that
keeps
coming out
telling me
next
that's
season?
good, and like I read the first chapter and I felt nothing.
The first chapter is kind of it presents an idea, but it doesn't really evolve it. Like that main character that's presented in the first chapter, he has no social skills because he's like been like used by this old man all his life. So like whenever he starts interacting with human beings, it's that's where it comes into play, like the actual character in it. Like no, his motivation for killing a monster is that a girl will let him cop a feel, and that's how the story moves forward in that little section.
So it's Berserk.
What?
This is not even a moth take. This is just something else.
Well, no, it's like you know, Berserk. You know, Guts got taken advantage by an older man, and now he's only motivated by murder and Kefka or whatever her name is.
Kapka. I didn't read it.
Yeah. I played the video games. That's about it.
I read a very small portion. I should get to it.
Wait, are we talking about Berserk right now? Like neither of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a manga, and then the only adaptation that's come out in the last 20 years is horrible 3D CGI, and not even Frankie's voice actor from One Piece can
Yeah,
salvage
and you're one
that
of those
trashy.
fucking people that can't watch anything if it doesn't look fresh. so you can't watch the old one.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry,
Berserk is
unfortunately.
one of my favorite stories.
Can't wait
of all
for
time.
I can't wait for another really good CG anime to come out.
Beer Stirs is coming out.
You know
in
what?
Summer,
The thing is, I've seen good CG. Demon Slayer is phenomenal CG.
Yeah, but it's not a CG show. It just has it.
But it does it really well. Like that fight with the Hands Demon, where he was dodging all the attacks from the Hands Demon. Oh my gosh, he was 3D that whole time, and you wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm not saying that. But you know what I mean, like a Gridman type deal. I mean, Gridman's like half and half.
Beer
so
Stars
it's kind of
starting next season?
But Gridman was trash.
Okay, but you're dumb.
No, it's when a show can't pull me in 4 episodes. Why should I keep watching it?
Because it's the first like 5 episodes are kind of appealing to like the Toku crowd, and then it gets
actually.
No, it doesn't. Like, here, you want an anime that takes 3 episodes to get good and then just never stops after that? Watch Golden Kamuy.
No, I don't want to.
That perfectly exemplifies why I'm not going to watch Golden Kamuy. I'm gonna eventually read it though.
Golden Kamuy is actually higher up on my list now than JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I didn't think that was
the
possible.
manga is actually Frog.
Okay.
If you ever want to read a manga, the manga is genuinely great and beautiful, and they turn it into this poo fire.
I gotta finish part 7. I haven't finished it. And
here, let me show you an image that will show you.
I know you
post
post your like dumb out of context meme time where he's fucking a bear. Like you saw this like a million times to me. That's not gonna sell me on a manga. It's not gonna sell me on anything. Like, oh, you know how I'm gonna sell you on this? An out of context picture of a dude fucking an animal.
Yeah, there you go. Let's watch it.
No,
I mean that's the same kind of shit that gets people into JoJo. So like, it's totally fair.
No,
yeah,
I got into JoJo because I heard
like,
it was good, not because what's even an example of that in JoJo?
The fucking cherry scene from part 3.
Literally all of part 2.
Yeah, part 2 is like the fucking grenades that he hides in his jacket.
I got into JoJo because my friend in high school, Cameron, he's probably gonna listen to this at some point. Like just told me it was like, oh fuck, it was the raddest shit ever. And I was like, and I took it with a grain of salt, and then I watched part 3 first. I know, sacrilege. And it was good.
No, that's fine. That's great. Do that. Honestly, it's funny because I'm sitting here trashing on Gridman because I say I can't watch 5 episodes, but like, honestly, part 1 nearly killed me. I almost just dropped JoJo forever because of how bad part 1
is weird. So, here's my take on part 1. It's got a good arc overall, but like 2/3 of part 1 is just nothing.
It's got good setup, and then like everything until he gets to Dio is really boring. And actually, everything until Dio's dead is boring.
I have one question for you though. What is Araki's obsession with
I can explain that.
You're like the 800th person to ask this question.
Well, no, like in part 1 he kills a dog. Yep. In part 3 he kills a dog.
Many dogs.
And in part 4 the dog's already dead.
So
I don't know if he's killed the dog in part 5
the reason
yet,
why
but
Araki
I mean, he killed
kills
Polnareff,
dogs
so maybe.
It's
Spoilers
because he wants to... He the best shorthand that he can personally come up with for creating a villainous character is showing them kill a dog. That's why one of the first things Dio does, kill a dog. That's why one of the first thing that Killer in part 4 does is kill a dog. Because he wants, what can I do? Kill an adorable animal. They'll know he's evil. That's why. That's actually why. That's a stated reason.
So many dogs die in part 3, dude.
The only one I remember is Buggy.
Iggy.
Or not Buggy, Iggy.
There's so many dogs that die in part 3. There's one at the Hangman fight. There's one a bunch of dogs die in Iggy's fight with Pet Shop, like 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, that's true.
A bunch of dogs die. Actually, might be it, but like, point is, there's like at least 3 or 4 dogs who die in part 3 alone.
Okay. All right, you know what? I'll give you that then. Yep, you know what? That makes sense.
Araki
he doesn't hate
dogs.
He just hates people who kills dogs.
He for someone who hates people who kills dolls, he sure kills a lot of dogs, doesn't he?
So, Mike, you gave us homework this week to watch Kick Heart, and I don't know why, but you did. And so I put myself through that 10 minutes of Kick Heart again and watched it again, so we can talk about it.
Kick Heart, because this is very this is something that not a lot of people know exists. It's a 12-minute, 10-minute if you don't count credits. It's a little tiny short film by
like 9.5.
Masaki Yuasa. It's about a Japanese wrestler, although he looks much more like a luchador. The only reason you know it's in Japan is because they're in Tokyo and there's a porn vending machine at one point. Those that don't exist outside of Japan. But it's just this tight 10 minutes that is got really fantastic experimental animation, really rough art style, and it has something that I absolutely adore. I'm not a wrestling fan, but I follow wrestling, and there's this concept in wrestling of telling a story in a fight, and they do that incredibly well. So I want to know what you guys think about Kick Hard, because it's one of my favorite Masaki Yuasa works.
Honestly, I'm mediocre about it. It's got art style and animation that's on par with the levels of Ping Pong, which earns my respect. It's got a very sexy man, which earns my respect. But I feel it's over-sexualized.
Why?
Literally, the main girl, what's her name? Lady S or something? What is her name?
Her nipples
Lady
are poking
S.
out,
Like,
but that's pretty much the extent of it.
The entire and then look at the other woman that they have. Like,
I love
she is just this.
Whenever he gets stuck inside of
abomination.
her, and when he tries to grapple her, and he finds a skeleton, and he goes, "Ah!" It fucking makes me laugh.
It's literally about a masochist getting his ass beat by different proportioned women.
No, it's not. It's not
borderline
even
fetish
like
porn.
yes, that is the text on it. Although it's only one woman he wants to get beat by, like he actually doesn't give a fuck about the fat chick. Which going back to the theme of this podcast, fuck fat people. No, it's so
Full circle.
Just skipping to the fight scene between them where Lady S challenges him to a fight. The reason why she challenges him to a fight is because she can obviously tell that he is the masked man W, and he finds that she finds that porn magazine in a very short clip that you could, if you blinked while he was visiting the orphanage early on, you would miss it. So she knows what he's into, and is like, okay, I'm gonna punish this asshole for being an idiot, and he does, but he doesn't give up. And you actually see in the fight where she starts to see him as like this man that doesn't give up, and he's fighting for these kids. That's what he's doing. So she starts to fall for him in the same way he does for her. And his whole thing is that like he's an ex-orphan and his mother gave him up, and so he has these issues that he kind of expresses through being like he blames himself. You can tell. For his mother leaving and abandoning him, and so he has fetishized like punishing himself to the point where even as an adult, that's what he's into. And you can the movie conveys all this in like one of my favorite fight scenes, because it explains all this without saying it. You just see it in visuals. I love it so much.
Yep. Better idea. Just watch Tiger Mask W.
Don't
instead.
watch Tiger Mask W, because it's just a not good version of actual Japanese wrestling.
I don't know. Watch Tiger Mask.
So what do you think, Frog? What were your thoughts watching it?
So I only watched it one time through. I'm not very subtextually good. Good phrase. I don't know. I didn't really catch on any like
You're
kind
not
of
as
story
big
just
brained
because
as me.
for my watch. Yeah, no, I have small, tiny, smooth brain, and you have big
Unga
unga
bunga.
bunga brain.
That's right.
So me dunga brain, focus on animation because that's what I do, and it's weird how Yas is kind of consistent with this, where he follows the rules of animation. It's not like he breaks them. They're there, but he like bends them in really fun ways that like fuck with my mind at how it works so well as it does. It's really cool. I couldn't even pick like a specific shot to like kind of point out, just because they all kind of have that, especially in the fight scene. It's
got this really
cool,
expressive, scratchy art style.
It's really something I want to like
And
study.
He
Yeah.
uses a lot of in animation. Like it's one of the things I love. It's a lot of show don't tell, where he will he'll look at a scene and be like, okay, how can I convey this without like without just saying what's happening. So when he's struggling, like whenever Lady S has him in the pin, and he's fighting himself for the humiliation and the abuse that he wants versus actually winning the money for the kids, and you see that internal struggle with him actually being like his like visions that he's seeing as he's losing air is him in this rocky ocean. He's trying to swim against a current, and he hears the kid in the crowd, which gives him like the motivation to, you know, not give in to the pleasure that he wants and actually try and defeat this person, which really shows him as like this person that wants to put others above himself. Like it's very good visual storytelling.
Yeah.
Dude, I think you're looking way too deep into it. It's just the story of a guy getting his ass beat by a woman in skin-tight latex. It's 10 minutes. It's not that deep. It's just a guy
being
getting
able
his
to
ass
tell a
beat
story
with
in 10
really
minutes.
Good animation.
Doesn't mean it's not deep.
Then let me ask you. Okay, me ask you this question. Right?
You want a story in 10 minutes?
Why you gotta like
Don't
minimize
make
everything?
That's how Moth.
Because everything
That's how Moth
is
enjoys
minimal. This
things. He
whole
doesn't
like
think about
pseudo
things.
intellectual big brain thing.
It's not even pseudo-intellectual. It's
Yeah.
just telling a story.
There's no depth to it. It's just a story.
If you look at it, if you always look at it in the sense that there's no depth to something,
Yeah.
you're never gonna find depth.
Because there is none.
Because you're looking at it as if there's no depth.
He sees an ocean. He sees a puddle. He sees the same thing.
Okay, give me an example of something where there is depth that I'm not seeing.
Have you watched Gurren?
Yeah, Gurren Lagann. It's the story of a young boy growing up in a hostile world that is pitted against him.
It's the story of a boy who learns what the fucking world is and how to deal with it and becomes a man
and-
worth living.
And the writer
the
created it because he didn't like the Japanese salaryman mindset that was being forced upon people.
what?
Wait, didn't you know that?
I don't know shit about that. I just know.
Oh, Gurren Lagann is like the whole like second arc where they're being repressed and forced to be like everybody else. That was like the whole Japanese salaryman thing where like your only aspiration should be to continue making money for your family when you become an adult.
Frog's like.
I don't know nothing about that.
He's not like crazy when he says that, but I think I can see what he's saying, but it's a little deeper than actually that. It's less about like Japanese salaryman and more about like the entire second part of the thing is like
The second half is what gives meaning to the entire show.
Look, chick who wears a bikini too small for herself keeps kissing men and then they die. The end.
He's talking about Doom Bitch.
I know what she's. No, what?
Yeah,
no, she's
Doom
talking
Bitch.
about Yoko. I know what he's talking.
That's Doom Bitch.
Okay,
That's her
okay.
name.
Okay. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's my favorite show ever. I don't want to be mad.
Okay. Take Gurren Lagann and you enjoy it. It's your favorite show ever, right?
Yeah. Favorite piece of media.
Throw that in the trash and watch Demon Bane.
It's the second time you said that.
It's
I
like
think.
the fourth time you said that. What are you
Just
talking
do it.
about? He's
Just
brought up Demon Bane on every single episode. You know what? I'm gonna
watch Demon Bane.
Isn't that the one where they just fuck and then they are God or something? I don't know.
Yeah, actually, yes.
I don't want that. I want Gurren because it's perfect.
Yeah, but Demon Bane is perfect.
He's got you there.
That's not a thing.
I actually, you know
Yeah.
what, Moth? I plan on watching
I mean,
Demon Bane.
Just watch Demon Bane because I don't actually enjoy it. It's absolute garbage, but I'm gonna force you all to watch it so you can suffer with me.
So that was Kick Heart,
No.
a really fantastic.
I did. I
I've only watched it. Like, here's the thing: everything that I analyzed,
I'll watch it again, and I'll give you another I'll try and look at more subtextual.
everything I read into it, I've only watched it twice. The first time, and I was like, "Wow, that's really pretty." The second time is whenever I actually looked at it, not through the eyes of just wanting to watch something. Second time is whenever I actually thought about what was happening on the screen, something that Moth Man lacks the ability to do. unless it's like men, because then he can just think about it and he gets do moths have penis? Do they have penises?
Bugs don't have penises.
They have cloacas.
Yeah. What he said, which is just a penis and a
He
vagina.
gets his penis vagina ready to go.
Look, I will go on this next episode because we've been droning on for a little bit long, but like, I have an issue with people trying to find depth where there is none.
I have an
if
issue
we
with you
overanalyze,
trying to minimize depth where there is it.
but like this over analytical bullshit, and I apologize for cursing. But
We've
like,
talked about our
it's
fetishes
Rick-
here, Moth. I
it's-
think
it's
you're okay
Rick
with
and
cursing.
But like I use this as an example because everybody can use this as an example. But like Rick and Morty is a good, entertaining, fun show. It is completely ruined by everybody trying to prove they're smarter than everybody else because they're like, did you see this reference in this episode that references this? It's part of a sociological equation or a philosopher's thought on people's development cycles. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm just enjoying a piece of media, and I'm not trying to think. If I was trying to think, I would be working on my artistic talents or something like this. I'm not watching this to develop emotionally as a human being. Stop trying to find something that's not there.
Here's the thing, Moth. I don't know shit about the Rick and Morty example, but like, there are examples of depth that are clearly written out that aren't even subtext, that are just easily perceived that you sweep under the rug for convenience's sake, I think.
Yuri Kuma.
Like what?
It's the best example. Yuri
Like
Kuma,
Sarah's on
on My. These shows that, like, you're just, like, you like Sarah's on My, and it's clearly the show about connecting with people, and that's, like, every single time you would talk about how great it is. Like, you said yourself, the last 3 episodes were kind of losing you, but to me, the last 3 episodes are some of the best episodes in the series so far.
Nah, I just watching Rio and Mabu just become kappas one last time and fight as friends
That was
one
so
last
That
time.
was sick.
Like that was beautiful. That was lovely. Seeing Rio's emotion when his friend dies. Watching the curse that the otter put. I don't care. This episode comes out a week after we discussed it anyway. If they haven't seen it, it's their own fault. Like watching the curse that this otter put on 2 lovers is just absolutely phenomenal. But that's all there is to the episode. It's just a tragic Romeo and Juliet
Except,
story.
like...
How's it? Juliet.
With kappas.
It's not Romeo and Juliet.
But what he's saying is that it's a tragic love story.
Uh,
That's what he's actually saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
But the thing is, though, like...
Yeah, and that...
the same way, like, I totally get you, Moth. Like, I'm gonna extend this olive branch. There's tons of people that read into depth that isn't there, and that pisses me off. Like, I've talked about it before. There's this, like, a guy called Breadsword. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but I have talked about it. There's a guy called Breadsword on YouTube, and he makes these analytical videos, and he's did this one on a Satoshi Kon movie that I'm gonna make y'all watch for Christmas because it's a great Christmas movie, and it's just it's Tokyo Godfathers.
Is it Jingle All the Way?
But it's
So it's
Christmas
not
with the
Jingle All the Way.
Godfathers all the way.
Wait. So it's not the best Christmas movie of all time, Jingle
No.
All the Way.
It ain't Elf?
No, it's not Elf. The best Christmas movie of all time is Jingle
This is
All
such
the
a
Way.
it's
weird
Elf.
discussion to go into.
It's
'cause,
Jingle
like,
All the Way. Look, Elf doesn't have Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
But it does have the other guy.
Will Ferrell, who's a washed-up comedy actor in a world where comedy movies are now completely irrelevant because they've been replaced by TV shows and YouTube comedians.
Remember when Will Ferrell was on
Like-
The Office?
Will Ferrell is completely misplaced in the year 2019, and it's tragic.
You guys are both wrong because the best Christmas movie is by far Krampus. Sorry.
It's just... Even though it has one of my favorite actors taking point in it, no, you're wrong.
What's that one that like the Santa just kills a bunch of hookers or whatever?
Santa Sleigh.
What's that one?
Bad Santa?
Santa
That's
Sleigh.
also a fantastic Christmas movie.
Yeah, that one's good. It's really good, dude. Just Santa going on
Yeah, and
killing a bunch
instead
of
of
hookers.
reindeer, he
It's
has
a good time.
like 2
Cra-
mooses.
Yeah, Krampus has Adam Scott in it, but it's still not the best
But anyway.
Christmas movie.
Going back to it, just to end,
Yeah.
when it comes to depth, when it's not there and someone's like, yeah, man, that's super deep, I get it. But when depth is there, like, visuals tell story, Moth. So there's subtext to everything. If I tell you that I love you, there's it means I love you, but what kind of love is it? Like there's subtext even to the words we say. Like it's you have to read into these things to like help with communication. And I get it, like just wanting to enjoy things. I'm right there with you. There's tons of things I try and turn my brain off to enjoy. I tried to do that with King of Monsters, and it being like a total shit pile didn't help with me turning my brain off. I turn my brain off at things all the time. Like the first time I watched Kick Heart, turned my brain off and just watched it because I didn't even know what it was. I found it on Amazon Prime, and I just watched it. And I was like, wow, that was crazy. And it wasn't until I rewatched it today when I started thinking about like the messages that were there, like the visual storytelling, and then it exists. Like I'm not even overanalyzing it. Like whenever, like, well, we won't go into it again, but like you can read into things and it not be pseudo-intellectual and overanalyzing things. You're just looking at it and saying, this isn't like a case of someone saying that fucking Sans is Undertale, okay? I mean, Sans is Ness.
Sans is Undertale. You heard it here first.
Okay. All right.
And you know what?
All right.
I can't stand when people fucking read into shit. It pisses me the fuck off. Like,
Well, I will tell you right now, Mike, as long as we're doing this podcast, and as long as there are pseudo-intellectuals who try to find stuff that isn't there, I will trivialize and I will minimize everything until bare basic concepts to spite
and
those
you'll
people.
remain the Moth that we know and love.
Yep.
And with that, this has been the We Hate Anime podcast, the only podcast where Moth is wrong about everything. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at AnnieMikeru. Frog has his Twitter and his Twitch. You go ahead and plug that.
Yep. Twitter and Twitch are both FR0GK1 and G Frog King. You can follow me there.
And I don't have a social media presence, but I'm pretty sure someone's gonna find me anyway and burn a cross in my yard for shitting on David
we
Tennant.
also have an email address. It's askwehateanime. If you want to send us a question, or if you want to just tell Moth how wrong he is straight to his face, send us an email.
AskWeHateAnime at Gmail, at Yahoo, at
Gmail.
GeoCities.
At
What
Gmail.
is it? Okay.
.com.
AskWeHateAnime@gmail.com.
And if you want to
Put it in the
download the podcast, you can find it on Google Play, and you can find it on Spotify. It should be on iTunes at some point, and maybe even be on iTunes by the time you're listening to this.
iTunes keeps denying our fucking podcast.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not very
fucking
nice.
pricks.
Is this like the second
It's the
or
second.
third
We
time
haven't
we've
been denied this time yet. It's just still under review.
Yeah, that's I don't have much hope. We gotta go with like the Linux server podcast hosting.
Who the fuck
Well,
even
we
still
got
uses
nothing.
iTunes though?
I mean, like I have to have a corporate phone for my job that forces me to have an iPhone. So like
really?
I don't
Oh,
get
Yeah,
a
Moth
choice
works
on
for the
matter.
man.
I mean, I like my iPhone. Like I got iTunes Music on it, so I can listen to pretty much 85% of the music out there that's not owned by Japanese businesses for free.
How much does
so
that
I
cost?
like it.
Like normally without the.
$10 a month, but I got like my entire family just pitched in, and we're doing a family plan for like
Nice.
$15 a month for 6 people.
Sounds exactly like
It's pretty good.
Spotify.
By the way, we are sponsored by Apple. Apple, please approve our podcast.
We're sponsored by the
So
horrible
true.
opinions that spew out of our mouths every time we record.
We're sponsored by. We're gonna end the show.
そんな優しくしないでどんな